Hello and welcome back to the channel How Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and if you want to continue. Coming up in this episode, we have the results and scorers from Panthers versus Rabbitohs in the preliminary final game 2. Oliver Partington finds a new club for 2023, as does Albert Vete. Come in, the water's warm. And we begin today's episode with that news that Oliver Partington has signed for Salford for 2 years, starting from the 2023 season. The news of this came out a little bit earlier this season, so we were expecting this to go through, and now it has been confirmed that the young Wigan forward will join the Red Devils at the AJ Bell Stadium from the beginning of 2023. Partington, who can play anywhere in the forward pack, has played over 70 times for Wigan since his debut in the Betfred Super League back in 2018, and with a grand final appearance and also one for England night, comes with a bit more experience for Salford. Despite his age of 24, he has established himself at the elite level of rugby league in this country and will be an important part of Salford's pack going forward. I'm over the moon to have signed for Salford, said Partington, who was capped by England Knights 3 years ago. After speaking to head coach Paul Rowley, I knew it was the right place for me. I can't wait to get going with the lads and looking forward to meeting the fans. The forward started off his rugby league career coming through the Wigan Academy after signing for the club from his junior team, Oral St James. He enjoyed success at the academy level, including an academy grand final victory, which was the reason why he was handed a professional deal at Wigan Warriors. He made his debut for Wigan against Castleford Tigers in 2018 and made a total of 5 appearances for Sean Wayne's side during the course of that season. In 2019, under Adrian Lamb, he went on to play 22 games, with his performance seeing him named Wigan's Young Player of the Year alongside Morgan Smithies. His final appearance for the club came back in August as he was named captain for the away trip to HKR. During his time with the Warriors, Partington has also received multiple call-ups for the England Knights, and he will feature for Paul Anderson's side in the next month's fixture, after being selected alongside Sam Halsall, Ethan Havard, John Bateman, Kai Pearce-Paul, and his friend Smithies. Speaking on the departure of the player, head coach Matt Peets said, "In Oliver, he is a player and a person we're immensely proud of and wish him all the best for the future. I wish to thank Oliver for his attitude and commitment since joining Wigan as a scholarship player. He has given it his all and is a credit to himself and his family." On Partington, head coach Paul Rowley said, "It's great news that Oliver has chosen our club to continue his journey. I'm looking forward to seeing him play alongside our lads, and know he will fit in perfectly." And Director of Rugby Operations Ian Blease added, "I'm really excited about capturing the signing of Ollie. It's a real statement of intent getting a player of his ability, and he'll fit straight into the culture created at our club. I expect him to flourish as a player and progress into competing for international honours during his time here, hopefully for a long time to come. When I met Ollie, I was really impressed with his attitude to playing rugby, and it is clear he will fit right in within our incredible group." While the clubs are celebrating the signing of Ollie Partington, there would have to be some movement on players within the squad, as they were either coming to the end of their contracts or not getting enough game time which they deserve, and Salford have made that decision by allowing 3 players to leave. Those 3 players are Craig Burke, and Jack Wells, who both are going to Barrow Raiders, while Sam Luckley is on his way out the door to HKR. Barrow Raiders have made their signings of Burke and Wells for the 2023 season to get ready for another assault on the championship. Burke joins the club on a 2-year deal, while Wells has signed a contract until the end of next season. Burke joins the club as a 29-year-old who has spent much of his career in the Super League, making 42 appearances for Wigan Warriors, 21 for Hull KR, and a further 84 for the Salford Red Devils. He featured once for the Raiders on dual registration last season, scoring on his debut against the Cumbrian rivals Whitehaven at the Matt Jones Prestige Stadium. He went on to say, "I'm at a point where I want to be enjoying rugby and I feel like I can do that playing in this side. When I came here on dual registration, I really enjoyed playing with the team. The way they are set up to play really suits me, with us being allowed to play a little bit with the ball. I'm joining a club that is doing things really well. I want to come in and add my Super League experience, bring a lot to this side, and hopefully the lads will enjoy playing alongside me." Jack Wells is also following Burke to Barrow Raiders and has made 14 appearances in total for the Salford Red Devils, scoring once. A product of the Wigan Warriors Academy, he played 18 times in the charity in white, starting in 6 games. He featured twice for the Raiders in 2022, coming off the bench in the club's memorable 34-24 victory at Winners Vikings back in March. In March, he also made a home game. 2 months later, he made a home game with York City Knights. The 25-year-old, alongside Burke, will bolster the forward pack at the Raiders heading into the 2023 campaign, with the rival of Bradford Bulls and Welsh international Ben Evans already confirmed back in June. A return to Hull KR is in order for Sam Luckley, as the current Salford Red Devils forward signs on a 2-year deal with the Robins from 2023. Luckley is the 7th and final signing of the Willie Peters era, with Tom Opachich, Jesse Sewer, Reece Kennedy, James Batchelor, Lewis Senior and Yusuf Aldin all confirmed to be joining the Robins from next season. The Scottish forward came through the ranks at Newcastle Thunder, where he made 82 appearances. He also had a short spell with Huddersfield Giants and Hull KR as a junior. After leaving the Thunder, Luckley initially signed for a deal for the Ottawa Aces, but the Canadian franchise never came close to fruition due to COVID-19 and funding. So without a club, he was given the chance to try his hand at top flight rugby league with the Salford Red Devils ahead of the 2021 campaign. In 2022, Luckley made 16 appearances for Salford, mainly off the bench, and will be hoping to add to his 5 Scottish caps in this year's World Cup after an impressive individual campaign. His most impressive season to date was topped off by scoring in front of the Gallagate stand at the Magic Weekend in his hometown of Newcastle, where he did an impersonation of Toon legend Alan Shearer's famous goal celebration. The move to Hull KR says that their business is done for 2023. This is all done after landing Luckley on a multi-year deal with George King, Matty Staunton, Yusuf Aldin, Jesse Sewer, Reece Kennedy, Zach Fishwick, Connor Moore, Leo Tennyson and Greg Richards. All options for the incoming coach, Willie Peters, to use in the front row, along with their new acquisition. Speaking about his move to Rovers in 2023, Luckley was quick to point out why, after speaking to head coach Willie Peters about the future of the club, he knew he had to be part of the new era at the Robins and what they're embarking on, after Rovers fought off several Super League rivals for his signature. "I'm really excited to be joining Hull KR," said Luckley. I played a few games for the club's academy years ago under Kevin Dayton and Stanley Jean. I know what the club is all about, and I'm buzzing to get started. I had a really good few years with the Salford Red Devils, and I've developed a lot. Under Paul Rowley, my consistency has come on leaps and bounds. It's been a whirlwind a few seasons, but now I'm ready to work under Willie Peters. We've had a chat, and his style of rugby really suits mine, and what he wants to bring to the club. He has made me want to be a part of it. He's so passionate about the Rovers already, and it was really clear that he wants to win silverware. While Luckley is incoming from HKR, one of their outgoing players and one of their favourites, Albert Vete has found a club for the 2022 season, as he is going on to join Castleford Tigers for the future. Castleford yesterday announced the signing of the former HKR prop forward on a 2-year deal. Vete spent 2 seasons at the Selwyn Group Craven Park, but suspensions and injuries made it hard for the Tongan to build consistency, as he often struggled to string a run of matches together whilst wearing the red and white jersey. Over the 2 years, Vete has made 29 appearances for the Robins, scoring 7 tries. His best outing for the Rovers came in his final game, as Vete dismantled the Hull FC pack, and the prop had a field day against his opposite man Scott Taylor, who, throughout the contest, was second best to Vete. His time at Hull KR will be best described as rocks and diamonds. I'm pumped and I can't wait to get started, Vete said. I've already started talking to some of the boys, and I've done a few training sessions with Mahe Fanua and Beretta Faraimo, trying to keep each other accountable during the off-season and explaining what he is going to bring to Lee Radford's pack in 2023. Having the likes of Mahe, Beretta, Sueha already at Castleford is definitely going to make the transition easier. And I also played with George Lawler last year, so I know he will be looking out for me as well. The whole bus will be pumping, that's for sure. Unfortunately, this season I was suspended, so didn't play, and last year I was injured, so I'm yet to play at the Jungle. Just being on the sidelines, you can feel the atmosphere, which is unreal. I try to be a force on the field with my running and defence, and I feel that I can definitely add to Castleford's squad with my aggression. I'm looking forward to playing with a squad who are already there, especially Paul McShane, because I'm sick of him running circles around me on the field. His new head coach Lee Radford said he's something a bit different and has a different shape to what we've got in the forward pack at the moment. His skill set is really high, and speaking to players who play with him, the feedback on him off the field is fantastic too. We've got to try and get the best out of him and try to use his strengths in our team. I'm really looking forward to working with him. We end the episode today with the Penrith Panthers and the South Sydney Rabbitohs going at it for a place in the grand final, as the preliminary round, semi-final, what we would like to call it in the UK, comes to a conclusion with a game against the Parramatta Eels waiting for the victors. After a long season, Penrith and South Sydney now find themselves 18 minutes away from the grand final, with the minor premiers and defending champions Penrith coming into the game well rested after having enjoyed last week off since downing Parramatta in the qualifying final a fortnight ago. Given Coach Ivan Cleary rested 13 players in their final regular season game of the year against the North Queensland Cowboys of all teams, the majority of Penrith's side will head into Saturday's preliminary final, having played just one game in close to 4 weeks, priming them for a mouth-watering clash against the red-hot Rabbitohs. South Sydney once again bought their tickets to the preliminary finals, as they've done for the past 5 years now, consecutively to get there, with a convincing victory over Cronulla Sharks just 6 days after similarly dominant win over the Roosters at the Allianz Arena last week. The Myrtle and Cardinal are no strangers to facing the men from the mountains in the final, having gone down to Penrith in each of their last 3-year final series, headlined by last year's grand final defeat, and that Stephen Crichton try. So it will be the Rabbitohs who finally. So will it be the Rabbitohs who finally deliver the knockout finals blow they have been unable to land in the last 3 years against Penrith? Or will it be the Panthers who will continue their dominance and secure their spot in a third straight grand final? This game will tell us, but for the meantime, here are who Cleary and Dimitri have both named in their squads for this exciting game. Mitch Kenny will start at hooker with Api Coruscant to come from the bench, as they did in week 1 against the Eels. The minor premiers will be without Tyler May after he accepted a 1-match ban for his high tackle on Will Penasini in the qualifying final. His omission sees Charlie Staines coming to the side on the wing for his 14th game of the season. Spencer Linio is free to play after accepting a monetary fine for his high tackle, while Sean O'Sullivan is the 18th man. For the Rabbitohs, there is no further changes on games day after winger Alex Johnson was ruled out on Friday with a hip flexor injury. His place is being taken by Richard Kenner. Bench forward Saliva Havili will miss the match due to a calf injury and is replaced by Jake Cartwright, who has recovered himself from a hamstring injury and will play his first game since round 20. JRO is good to go after suffering a groin injury last week, while David Maoli is the 18th player. And Parramatta get another crack at the Penrith Panthers in this year's playoffs, as the Panthers beat the Rabbitohs 32 points to 12. It all started so well for the Rabbitohs as they led 12 points to 0 after 18 minutes, with Cody Walker and Richard Kenner both getting over for a try apiece, with Latrell Mitchell kicking both goals. But that's as good as it got for the Rabbitohs, as Api Coruscant and Brian Toto went over for tries just before half-time, which Nathan Cleary converted both. Spencer Leniu opened the scoring in the second half before Isaac Tago scored on the 54th minute. There was a sending off for Tane Milne for a reckless tackle that was also put on report on the 63rd minute for the Rabbitohs. So this was only ever going to go one way at the end of the game. As much as they fought the Rabbitohs, it was the Panthers that came out with a win, with Nathan Cleary scoring on the 77th minute, converted a penalty after the Milne sending off, and finishing with figures from 5 out of 5 from his conversions attempts. Next week's grand final, Penrith Panthers versus Parramatta Eels. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking that notification bell for any updates on new videos that may be coming your way. So, what are your thoughts on the episode today? Please remember to use the comments and be respectful when doing so. But it's open for business. Salford Red Devils, 3 out, 1 in. Do you think Oliver Partington will be a hit there? Salford fans, get on below, tell me. What about Albert Vete to Castleford? And Sam Luckley to HKR? There's moving parts all the way around. And also the finals game. Tell me, what did you think of that performance? And Milne sending off, do you think he deserved it? It's totally up to you. Anyway, Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. I will now wish you all the best, so please stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.